England has been carrying a curse for nearly 3 decades. Big tournaments, bigger expectations, and somehow always the same ending. What began with a single missed penalty in 1996 spiraled into a pattern, heartbreak, collapse, and endless what-ifs. Let's walk through the years that followed this curse. Euro 1996, the Southgate penalty. Euro 96 was a defining moment for English football as the tournament was hosted on home soil with fans full of hope and anticipation. The atmosphere at Wembley was electric, with the team brimming with confidence. Alan Shearer was in peak form, Gaza was creating magic, and Teddy Sheringham was pulling the strings in midfield. England reached the semi-finals against Germany, and Shearer's early goal sent the crowds into ecstasy. However, Germany quickly equalised, and extra time saw Gaza miss a golden opportunity to win. The match went into penalties, where Gareth Southgate's miss proved fatal. His weak shot was saved and Germany scored the decisive penalty, ending England's dream and marking the beginning of years of heartbreak. World Cup 1998, Beckham's red and Owen's arrival. France 98 felt like a new beginning for England, with a youthful squad led by Beckham, Scholes, and a teenage Michael Owen, sparking hope and excitement. The group stage was a roller coaster, a solid victory over Tunisia, a tense defeat to Romania, and a crucial win against Colombia to progress. The round of 16 clash with Argentina was unforgettable, with Owen scoring a stunning solo goal, leaving defenders in his wake before finishing top corner. But the euphoria quickly faded when Beckham was sent off after a reckless altercation with Diego Simeone, leaving England down to 10 men. Despite a determined fight, the match ended in penalties. In the shootout, England's hopes were dashed as Paul Inca and David Batty missed their penalties, while Argentina converted theirs. The result was heartbreak, with Beckham taking the brunt of the blame from the media and fans, turning him from national hero to scapegoat. It marked a painful fall from grace for England's golden boy. Euro 2000 implosion. Euro 2000 was forgettable for all the wrong reasons. England came in unsure, Keegan's leadership wasn't convincing, and the squad felt unbalanced. But then they went 2-0 up against Portugal in their opening game. Scholes scored early, McManaman made it 2. For a moment it looked like they had clicked. Then came the unravelling. Figo started pulling strings, Rui Costa danced through midfield, Portugal clawed it back and won 3-2 from euphoria to panic. Still, beating Germany in the next match gave fans a brief taste of revenge. England's first competitive win over them since '66. Then Romania. A point would do. They led, then blew it, equalised, but in classic England style, gave away a clumsy penalty in the dying minutes, lost 3-2. Out of the group stage, Keegan resigned a few months later. The whole campaign felt like a missed opportunity. Shaky tactics, wasted leads, and another early ticket home. World Cup 2002, Ronaldinho's lob. South Korea and Japan hosted the first World Cup in Asia, and England started solidly. A win against Argentina thanks to Beckham's cool penalty felt like poetic justice after '98. The group stage went smoothly, hopes were rising, Beckham's redemption arc was in full swing, and the media couldn't get enough. Quarterfinals, Brazil. A monster of a fixture. Owen pounced on a Lucio mistake and slotted it past the keeper. 1-0 up. England were flying. Then came Rivaldo's equaliser right before halftime, and early in the second half, Ronaldinho, a 40-yard lob over David Seaman. Still debated. Was it intentional? Did he mean it? No one knows. Doesn't matter if it counted. Ronaldinho was sent off minutes later, but it made no difference. England couldn't break through. They looked lost. No ideas, no fight. Full-time 2-1 Brazil. England was done. Brazil went on to win the World Cup. England, as always, were left clinging to what-ifs and another dose of heartbreak. Euro 2004, Rooney's breakout and breakdown. Euro 2004 marked the emergence of a young Wayne Rooney, just 18, who exploded onto the scene with 4 goals in the group stage, dominating defenders with confidence and flair. His performance had fans and pundits believing England had found their next generational talent. As the team advanced to the quarterfinals, facing hosts Portugal, Rooney continued to make an impact until disaster struck. A metatarsal injury sidelined him, and England's momentum faded. Despite this, they fought on, with Sol Campbell's late header controversially ruled out, leading to a tense penalty shootout. In the shootout, Beckham, typically composed, missed his penalty, followed by Darius Vassell, Wales miss, while Portugal kept their cool. England's fate was sealed, and yet again, they were eliminated in a shootout. The nation was left to mourn, and the familiar questions about England's mentality and inability to handle the pressure in crucial moments resurfaced, marking another bitter disappointment in their tournament history. World Cup 2006, the wink.
The 2006 World Cup saw England enter with high hopes, led by captain David Beckham and the fiery Wayne Rooney. Rooney returned strong, but was sent off in the quarter-final against Portugal after stamping on Ricardo Carvalho, leaving England with 10 men. Despite this, England fought hard, keeping the game scoreless through extra time. The match went to penalties, where England's struggles continued. Only Owen Hargreaves scored from the spot, while Portugal's goalkeeper Ricardo saved 3 crucial penalties, including attempts from Lampard, Gerrard and Carragher. Beckham watched injured from the sidelines, knowing this would be his last game as England captain. Once again, England's World Cup dreams ended in heartbreak, raising familiar questions about discipline, pressure and penalty shootouts. The nation mourned another quarter-final exit, adding to the long list of near misses on football's biggest stage.
Euro 2008 didn't even qualify. This campaign was a disaster from start to finish. Drawn into a group with Russia and Croatia, qualification was in their hands heading into the final game at Wembley. All they needed was a draw against Croatia to book a ticket to the tournament. But under pouring rain and immense pressure, they crumbled. They went behind early to a defensive mess, clawed back to 2-2 with hopes rising, but then came a hammer blow. Mladen Petric struck from a distance to make it 3-2. The nation watched in stunned silence. England were out. Steve McLaren, standing helpless under an umbrella on the touchline, became the face of failure. The tabloids labelled him the Wally with the brolly, and it stuck. Missing out on a major tournament felt like rock bottom. It was a campaign defined by poor tactics, low morale, and a team that just couldn't rise to the occasion. World Cup 2010, Lampard's ghost goal. England arrived in South Africa with a squad full of stars but zero chemistry. They struggled from the start, drawing 1-1 with the USA and narrowly beating Slovenia to scrape through the group. In the round of 16, they faced Germany. Within 32 minutes, it was 2-0 to the Germans, exposing England's shaky defense. Then Matthew Upson pulled one back and momentum seemed to shift. Moments later, Frank Lampard unleashed a shot that smashed the underside of the crossbar and clearly crossed the line. Everyone saw it, everyone but the officials. No goal given.
It's not been given!
It should have been 2-2 instead. England's heads dropped. Confidence vanished. Germany took full control and scored twice more. Final score 4-1. That moment, Lampard's ghost goal became symbolic. It sparked outrage and ultimately led to the introduction of goal line technology. But for England, the damage was done. Another tournament, another brutal what if. Euro 2012, Pirlo's Panenka. Hodgson was appointed just weeks before Euro 2012 and expectations were tempered. England topped their group with solid, if unspectacular, performances. Then came the quarter-final clash with Italy. England sat deep, hoping to hit on the counter, but Italy controlled the game from the first whistle. Andrea Pirlo ran the midfield, dictating the pace, while England chased shadows. Yet somehow, after 120 minutes of domination, it was still 0-0. Penalties followed. Montolivo missed, offering a sliver of hope. But then Ashley Young thundered his shot off the crossbar and Ashley Cole's effort was saved. Then came Pirlo, who delivered the knockout blow in style, a cheeky Panenka right down the middle. Joe Hart swung as the ball floated in. England were undone, not just by missed chances, but by sheer composure and class. Same ending, another heartbreaking exit, another lesson in how to keep your head when it counts. World Cup 2014, a write-off. England entered the World Cup in Brazil with cautious optimism, boasting a mix of seasoned players and youthful talent. However, their tournament quickly unraveled. In the opener against Italy, despite showing attacking promise, they were defeated 2-1. Things worsened in their next match as Luis Suarez, recovering from injury, delivered 2 precise goals, condemning England to another 2-1 loss to Uruguay. By the time they faced Costa Rica, their fate was sealed. Hodgson rotated his squad, but the match ended in a goalless draw, leaving England with just 1 point from 3 games. Finishing at the bottom of the group, it marked their first World Cup group stage exit since 1958. Fans and pundits were left baffled by the team's lack of direction, but somehow Hodgson retained his job. England's time in Brazil was a forgettable, disappointing chapter in their long history of underachievement. Euro 2016, Iceland. Yes, Iceland. England entered the Euro 2016 knockout round as heavy favourites against Iceland, a team with far less experience and a much smaller population. The early stages seemed promising when Wayne Rooney scored a penalty just minutes into the match, putting England 1-0 up. But Iceland shocked everyone by equalising almost immediately, then taking the lead not long after. Despite controlling possession, England did little with the ball. Iceland organised and disciplined, defended resolutely while exploiting long throws to apply pressure. England, on the other hand, looked disjointed, nervous and lacked a clear strategy. Passes were misfired and shots were weak. The match ended 2-1 in Iceland's favour, leaving England stunned and humiliated. Iceland, with their smaller population and less experience, had pulled off one of the biggest upsets in football history. Roy Hodgson resigned right after the game, marking a low point for English football. World Cup 2018, something different. Gareth Southgate took charge and implemented a fresh approach with a young, promising squad. Expectations were modest, but hope began to grow as they secured a late victory over Tunisia. Despite a loss to Belgium in the final group match, England triumphed in their first ever World Cup penalty shootout against Colombia in the round of 16, marking a historic milestone. They then controlled the quarter-final against Sweden, winning 2-0 and advancing to the semi-finals where they faced Croatia. In the semi-final, Kieran Trippier's early free kick gave England the lead and fans dared to dream. However, Croatia fought back, with Perisic equalising and Mandzukic scoring the winner in extra time, sending England out of the tournament. Despite the painful loss, this journey felt different. The team displayed unity, spirit and progress, making it to the final four with the youngest squad. For the first time in years, fans felt pride, not shame, and the belief in the team was reignited. Euro 2020 Wembley woes. Euro 2020, delayed by a year due to the pandemic, was hosted across Europe with a final set at Wembley. England played solid football throughout, beating Germany in the round of 16 and Denmark in extra time in the semi-finals. The buzz was unreal. Fans felt this could finally be the one. The team had quality, structure and belief. In the final against Italy, Luke Shaw scored in the second minute, sending Wembley into absolute chaos. But Italy grew into the game and equalised through Bonucci. England hung on, but penalties came. Rashford hit the post, Sancho's shot was saved, and then 19-year-old Bukayo Saka stepped up, also saved. Italy celebrated, England collapsed. Another shootout heartbreak, this time at home. So close, yet again, so far. World Cup 2022, the Kane miss. In Qatar, England looked sharp. They thrashed Iran, drew with the USA and brushed past Senegal. Up next, reigning champs France. A big test, but England were up for it. Chouameni scored early, Kane equalised with a penalty, Giroud made it 2-1 then. Late in the match, England earned another penalty. Kane, usually ice cold, stepped up again. This time he blasted it over the bar. Silence followed. France held on. England were out in the quarter-finals. Southgate stayed, but it was another case of what could have been. A strong team, a strong performance, but just short when it mattered most. The pain continued. Euro 2024, the final heartbreak. England's Euro 2024 journey was almost a fairy tale, but as always, fate had other plans. Southgate's side reached their second consecutive European Championship final, full of promise and hope. Their path to Berlin wasn't without its bumps. At times, critics questioned their playing style and whether the abundance of young, attacking talent was being fully harnessed. But they kept fighting, clawing their way back from behind in multiple knockout matches, showing resilience and belief. In the final against Spain, the pattern repeated itself. England went down early but mounted a strong comeback, only to have Spain score a late winner. Another agonizing miss for England, another tournament where they came so close yet fell short. The wait for a major trophy continues, but the faith remains. One day, football will come home. So, which England tournament exit hurt you the most? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed this video. If you're into controversial decisions, check out our previous video on every VAR controversy in the Premier League. Subscribe for more.